Hello and welcome everyone to another video. Today I will be continuing our candle magic segment. Now I'll be looking at different types of candles, and before we start I just want to say it's very handy to have candles and stock up on them in your household in case just like of power cuts, or even if you want to whip up a quick spell. You can always anoint your candles with different herbs and oils, and also use crystals around them to invoke specific energies to assist you with your spell work. Now let's have a look first at your typical votive candles. Now we'll insert a little image here what a votive candle would look like. Now they're typically around 3, maybe 2, maximum 4 inches in height. They fit easily into different holders and little glasses, so you can safely burn them. Now you can even use a votive candle without a holder for like a shorter, smaller burn time. Or if you want to do wax divination, votive candles are quite good, and you would often find them in any shop, and they are usually sold in packs and can be purchased for quite a cheap price. So they're very good for anyone who's just starting off in candle magic and casting spells. Now an average votive candle burn time can range anywhere from 6 hours down to 15 or up to 15 hours. Now let's have a look at vigil candles. These burn for a much longer period of time, so 7 to even 9 days. I've had a larger vigil candle that had 14 days span. Now they are probably one of the most accessible candles in some areas of the world, but for me personally in the UK I found them quite harder to get hold of. They're very popular in practices of voodoo, hoodoo, folk magic, and vigil candles come in lots of different versions and styles. Some of them have little pictures on them, labels. Some may be basically devoted to Catholic saints, different angels, different spells that you want to achieve, and you have quite a few that have good luck symbols or have been already anointed for you. So if you go to a magical shop online and have a look, a lot of them will be already pre-anointed. They will have labels on it and what you're trying to basically cast into your life and manifest. So if you're just beginning and you're not sure about what to get in terms of herbs and oils, it's a good place to basically begin when you're working with candle magic. Now they come in lots of colours and they're actually quite easy to dress. So you can basically put it in a little container, not container but like a little worktop or something, so you can spread your herbs around it, into it. You do whatever it is best for you as long as you practice it safely, because I know that some herbs or some candles can be basically overdressed with dried herbs and it is a fire hazard at the end of the day. You wouldn't want to cast a spell and end up burning your entire house down. So these candles are usually intended to burn all the way down without any interruptions. But if you basically need to leave the room, I would suggest secluding the candle somewhere in a safe space. Now let's have a look at tea lights. Tea lights are very commonly found in literally any sort of home decor shop, even in normal supermarkets. Tea light candles burn on average around 2 hours, some do burn to 3. I have actually gotten hold of little tea lights that are slightly thicker and larger in size, and they burn up to 8 hours. Now tea lights are very affordable, they're great to start off in. They have a lot of different colours that you can get your hands on, and they're usually sold in larger packs. So tea lights are really good for making any ritual circles or spells where you need to use multiple candles. You can also use tea lights for quick and easy magic. You can just drop a bit of oil into them, anoint with a tiny bit of herbs around them, place crystals, and you have quite an effective way of manifesting spells quite quickly. Now let's have a look at the significance of beeswax candles. Now on average I have experience with different waxes, as I do make my own wax melts and candles, and I found that beeswax candles tend to have a longer than average burn time. So I've come across even some beeswax candles that can burn up to 65-70 hours, quite long, and they're quite large. Now, beeswax candles have a very long history in magic and in our society. Wax from the bees was actually quite rare before and very dangerous to acquire, as you imagine trying to get into a beehive. So it is full of natural energies, and lots of people do say that natural materials tend to burn longer. They're quite luxury candles, the ones made out of beeswax, so they often come at a higher price. So yeah, I tend to use beeswax candles when I have my altar candles, which are lit all the time, when I'm in the house at least. I place them in a little sort of fireproof holder, and I just have them burning all the time. And I find that is quite suitable to have beeswax candles for something that you're working for a longer time on. So for example, on my altar I always want to have a light on, one for the goddess and one for the god aspect. So I use beeswax candles because they tend to burn at a much slower rate. Now let's have a look at soy candles. Your typical average soy candle is going to burn around 5 to maybe 12 hours if you're really pushing it, but it also depends on its size. Usually if you want to look at a different burn time or find out about different burn time, you would have to look on the label. A lot of candles do say how long they will take to basically burn down. So soy candles are quite natural, and a lot of people do prefer them to beeswax simply because they're quite cheaper, and a lot of people use soy candles these days when they're working with more earth magic and earth energies. So soy candles, as I found out from personal experience, they retain different oils and scents very well, but they do have a slightly shorter burn time, as I mentioned before. They're very brittle and difficult to mold or carve, so a lot of times when I use soy wax I tend to pour it in a little holder or like a little reusable glass, because I do tend to recycle quite a lot. Soy candles are found already encased in glass when you go to a shop, and they are best used for spells regarding basically healing and renewal, or working with the Fae and natural spirits. Now let's have a quick look at what I found is a 7-knob candle, which burns for 7 days. Now these 7-knob candles, I personally haven't used them, but after researching for a while I found out that they're quite a thing. They are little round balls stacked one above another. They're very popular among practitioners of African folk magic and voodoo around since 1930s. I did get most of this information from Candle Magic for Beginners by Mystic Dylan, which I can't help to recommend to everyone who's practicing witchcraft and spell work with candles. But yeah, a lot of people tend to use the 7-knob system and dedicate each knob to a different wish or a different spell, and then cleanse the candle and reuse it. You can dress these candles with oil just like any other candle and burn for 7 nights. And you never blow them out. I think this is a thing with every single candle type. I try not to blow them out. I try to use a candle sniffer specifically, just to make sure I don't offend any of the fire spirits. So yeah, 7-knob candles is something that I'm kind of looking forward to using and incorporating into my practice. Now let's move on to spell candles. They're basically known also as chime candles. So a chime candle can burn anywhere from 90 minutes to 2 hours. They're quite quick. They're literally a must for anyone practicing candle magic. They're literally just 4 inches tall and come in a multitude of colours. You can carve into them quite easily because they're quite soft. They're basically perfect for multiple spell workings. You can typically purchase them even on Amazon in a spell shop. You will find them all bundled up in like different colors. You can find them online on Amazon, and you can purchase them at a very good price a lot of times, because you get a set of like 8 or 12 or 16 candles, and you can get them basically one set in one specific color or in a multitude of colors. So let's have a look at pull-out candles now. These are similar to like your 7-day candles, as they tend to burn 3 to sort of 7 days. I've had a few that have taken even longer to burn. So they're very similar to vigil candles. They're usually 8.5 inches tall, and they come in a little glass, so you can literally take out, remove it from the glass, engrave it, put oils on it, so anoint it. So it's quite a diverse candle. They have become recently quite popular because they're quite efficient, and it's very easy to customize them as well as burn them quite safely in their own little holders. So it's a really good candle for anyone that's sort of trying to manifest something a bit long term, and they want to anoint their own candle and personalize it according to their own beliefs. Now I'm going to go into taper candles that you can get almost anywhere now. Taper candles, some of them can burn 4 hours to like 12 hours max, pushing it. Taper candles are quite long and narrow shaped. They look like stretched out cones. They're very good for performing rituals with simple intentions and settings, so like attracting something into your life. They are quite fragile and can be quite messy to burn. They're quite good for literally carving anything on them, and they work really well for wax stripping divination. Now you can dress taper candles as well as any other candle with any oils and any herbs that you want to use. They're quite tall, so they burn in sections, and basically you can burn one over a course of a few days, or if you want to, within a few hours. So another popular candle that you can find, literally I just buy them in IKEA if I'm honest, are pillar candles. Pillar candles are usually made from all sorts of waxes. You have a wide plethora of different ones to basically pick from. So pillar candles can literally take anywhere from, I've seen pillar candles that burn down in 6 hours, so I guess like from 6 hours up to even 40 hours pushing it if you have really large tall pillar. I bought a large pillar candle from IKEA, and it has a burn time of 80 hours I think it was. Now pillar candles, as I mentioned before, you can find them almost anywhere, and they can be used instead of a pull-out candle in your magical practice. So you can etch anything on it, you can dress the candle after warming it up a tiny bit. They're good for setting intentions for long-term goals and work well in spells or rituals, guided by lunar phases. Again, pillar candles do come in all sorts of colours, so you can always find them quite easily and quite quickly when you do want to cast a spell. Let's have a look at figure candles. Now figure candles, I can go on forever because you have so many different shapes and sizes that you can find online. It depends what you want to attract or what your spell work is, so you use a different sort of figure for different intentions. Now you can use candles that are shaped like people, animals, couples, sexual objects. You can have a male or a female figure candle that you can, have it represent a person. I've had a candle before when I was trying to become pregnant. I had like a pregnant lady candle, Mother Earth candle. The list is endless. You can find so many figure candles, and they all have different burn times. If you feel that it's right for you, you can also just make candles at home using different containers and jars that you have, especially if they are fireproof. I do this especially in my practice, as I feel most comfortable when I cast my own intention while stirring all the wax and all the oils and herbs into it. So homemade candles can basically set higher and much stronger vibrations. There's lots of tutorials online that you can find on YouTube of how to make wax candles in your own household.